Welcome to your multiple choice challenge with your host, Miss Anselmo. Your job is to decide on the right answers as a team and get as many points as you can. These questions are supposed to be hard, and they're also supposed to be questions that make you think so that you can have a discussion with your teammates about which answer choice you think is the best answer and why. So when you see a question, make sure you guys take the time to think about what the right answer is. And it might help for you to draw a picture out or to translate a word, just like you would do on a test, but share your thinking with your teammates before you decide on an answer. That said, let's take a few minutes to decide on the answer for the first question. Our first question talks about what question can be answered by scientific investigation. That means it's a question I need you to do an experiment about. And I know experiments have independent variable or something we change, and a dependent variable or something we measure. What are the benefits of recycling? Well, I learned about recycling in science, but I'm not changing anything, nor am I measuring anything. How much light is transmitted through different kinds of glass? Well, I see the word different, so that must mean something's being changed. And how much light is what you're measuring. That's your dependent variable. So your answer for the first question was B. If you guys got that right, you are 1 for 1 on your multiple choice challenge. Let's take a look at our next picture. Our next question. Go ahead and take some time to decide on your next answer. See if you can be 2 for 2. Or if you missed the first one, make up for it here. Alright, in this next question, I see that it's asking me for dependent variable. So I always want to underline and translate that. And I'm going to write that that is what we... Sorry, it's not what we change, it's what we measure. Remember, ICDM. Independent is what you change. Dependent is what you measure after the experiment, the output, what you're trying to find out. So what is De Niro trying to find out? Well, he changes the size of the particle, and he wants to see the time it takes to completely dissolve. We also see that here, the time it takes to dissolve. Because he's recording that and measuring that, that is our dependent variable, so your answer is D. Let's take a look at the third question. Please remember you are talking these over with your team before deciding on a next answer. Here's number 3. Okay, now we need to find the independent and dependent variables. So it's similar to before, but this time we have our paragraph, but we also have our table. Tables are super helpful because they almost always tell us our independent variable and our dependent variable, along with some other control variables sometimes. So this one's pretty easy. We know independent is what Cameron is changing. Holy smokes, it says it right here. She changed the temperature of the water. We also know that's usually in our first column, and we see right here that our numbers are changing 50, 75, and 100. So the independent is the temperature of the canister. Let's use this multiple choice to our advantage. We know it's not C or D because I know the independent has to be the temperature of the canister. So now I'm between A and B. Our dependent, length of the reaction time. That's what she's measuring. And we can see that up here, to the effect of her reaction time. So we know the answer is B. Beautiful. Let's erase this and move on to the next problem. All right, next problem. Someone make sure you're reading it out loud and then decide on your answer. This one's tricky. Okay, let's look at these. These are all the objects that Tajon has. So let's just go through and see which ones he could easily answer. Does the mass of a toy truck affect how far it can travel? Well, to find the mass, we would need a scale, which we don't have, so it's not A. How long does it take a toy car to travel 3 meters? Well, to do that, we would need, how long does it take? We would need a timer. Oh, perfect, a stopwatch. And to travel 3 meters, we would need some kind of meter stick. Boom. And we need a toy car. Beautiful. We have everything we need to answer question B, so that's going to be our answer. But let's look at the other ones. Which toy car can travel 1 minute and 20 seconds? Well, we only have one toy car. So even though this is a better scientific question, he cannot easily answer it because he only has one. And the last one is the temperature. Well, we don't have a thermometer, so there's no way to do D. Hopefully that made sense. If not, we're going to have one more like that coming up. We are a little more than halfway through your multiple choice challenge. We're going to see which team can get the most points. If right now your team has missed a few, that's okay. They're supposed to be hard. Make sure you guys stay positive and get the next few right. All right. Next one, we need to make that a little smaller, huh? A lot smaller, yikes. All right, go ahead and read that one. Okay, this one's probably one of the hardest ones that I've given you, but that's why this is a challenge. So let's take a look at this experiment. And if we're ever stuck in science, it's always good to draw a picture. Ina wants to answer the question, how much more weight can an electromagnet pick up for each 10 coils wrapped around its core? So we have this magnet, and we want to know how much weight it can be picked up. So it looks like it's going to measure some paper clips that are linked together. And each 10 coils wrapped around its core. So he's going to first test it with no coils. Let's put number of coils. That's what he's changing. Then he builds an electronic with 10 coils and tests it. So he puts some coils on it, 10 of them. Then he sees how many he can pick up. What should he do next? Test how many linked paper clips a regular magnet can pick up. Well, he could do that, but remember, he wants to add each 10 coils. He wants to add some more coils. Test and record how many loose paper clips the 10-coil electromagnet can pick up. Well, that's not what he's trying to change. Remember, he's trying to change the number of coils. Add 10 coils to electromagnet and record how many linked paper clips it can pick up. Boom, that's what he's trying to change. The paper clips are still linked because that has to be a constant or a control. Our answer for that one was C. Moving on. All right, here we go. Don't get this one wrong. We got a table. Use it. What type of variable is pressure? So I got pressure right here. That is the last column in my table. Usually that's the dependent variable. But we also want to make sure that makes sense. The depth of the water is changing, and it's changing evenly, so that was probably purposely changed, the independent variable. As this changes, the input, the output changes too. As you go down into the water, the pressure increases. So that is our dependent variable. Next set of problems. Next problem. Go ahead and read it. We've seen one similar to this, so make sure you read the list of materials carefully. Again, that most easily stem. What can he answer most easily? We've got some water, salt, sugar, and a stopwatch. How much salt and sugar will dissolve in half a cup of warm water? Well, he only has 1 tablespoon of each, so he can't really keep adding it. Which tastes better? You're not going to taste things in science unless that's part of your experiment. Which dissolve faster? Well, to measure how fast it dissolves, we need a stopwatch or a timer. Oh, look, we have one. Boom. That's probably our answer. But let's go back. Does water gain heat? Well, how do we measure heat with a thermometer? Again, we don't have that. So the best answer here is C, because he has all the tools he needs to make that investigation happen. How you guys doing? It is getting down to the end of your multiple choice challenge. Now is your chance to put some points on the board. We have, let's see, a few more questions though. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more. So 5 more chances to get some points. But again, don't rush. If you don't get through all of them, you'll get the points for the ones you got through. Go ahead and read this one and submit your answer as a team. What is this statement? I see an if. I see a then. That is a hypothesis because she is making a prediction. She's thinking about what's going to happen in an experiment. If it was just a prediction or a guess about anything, that would be an inference. But because she's actually doing an experiment with an IV and a DV, sorry about my handwriting. That pen's pretty bad. We know it's a hypothesis. Oops. All right. Next one. Read this one, and you are predicting based on that graph. Okay, so this one is basic graph reading skills. We see that each year the number of conches goes up just a little bit, and we want to predict how much will be in year 7. So if I were doing this, oops, I would draw my little bar graph coming down and look to see where we're at. We are between 12 and 1400, but we're definitely above 1200. Sorry, 12,000. So 14,000 is our best answer. Hopefully you guys got that one. Graph skills should be good for you guys. All right, a few more here. Next one. Please remember you're answering as a group. How can we make this more accurate? Well, let's take a look at our table as always. They want to know if marigolds will grow longer when given plant food. So that's what we need to change. We are changing the amount of plant food. That's our independent variable. The type of plant stays the same. That's a constant or a control. Hours of light. This is changing too. And the size of the flower, well, that's what they're going to measure. So we know we can only change one thing on purpose. That's this guy. And then sometimes other things change. The dependent variable changes. Everything else needs to be kept the same. So we have 6, 6. This guy needs to also get 6 hours of light. So that is A. All right, 2 more. 2 more. One more. 2 more. Okay. This one's a tricky one. We have to draw a conclusion from this table. Make sure you take your time with this one. All right, we've got some data about rabbits, and we want to know what is affecting the number of rabbits. So we have all of these variables in this case. And remember, that's okay because this is in real life. In real life, there's more than one thing that's changing. So the number of days is changing, the temperature is changing, and the rainfall is changing, and the season. So that's what we're deciding which one affects the population. Well, here the populations are the same, so it probably is not going to help us look at the two rows. But all of a sudden we see a big decrease. From here to here it decreases. And then from here to here it also decreases. And then from here to here it increases again. So let's look at what was the same or different here. Here the number of days stayed the same, so it's not number of days. The name of the season, well, in spring there were either 118 rabbits or 98 rabbits. So it's not the season. Temperature or rainfall. Again, with these first two, the temperature here is 22, the temperature here is 23, but the rabbit population was really different for the first and last column, so it's not the temperature either. The rainfall, you go from 22 to 18, which is certainly a difference. And when our rabbit population is the lowest, our rainfall is the lowest. So the rainfall changes the most, which makes the population change the most. Our answer is D. That one was tough. All right, last one. Again, another drawing conclusion one. Take your time. All right, what is Roberto going to conclude? He's got changing the amount of sugar is the only thing that's changing. Ooh, bad pen move. The water is the same, food color is the same, shape is the same. And our birds are the most when we have the most sugar, and 0 birds when we have the least sugar. So A looks pretty good because it's talking about sugar. A full feeder, that's not even what we measure. Round bird feeders, well, they're all round. Come on. Red liquid, well, they're all red. So our best answer is A. You guys should have a score for your multiple choice challenge, and we'll see how you did compared to the other groups. Hopefully you guys enjoyed your multiple choice challenge, and most importantly, you guys feel much better about answering multiple choice questions as we get you ready for the next grade.